Yo, yo, yo. We back again. Tag team back again. Checking, correcting. Let's begin. Yeah. I know I said yesterday that the next prompt was going to be strictly for the niggas. but uh, I see people are very defensive about this whiteness concept. And they haven't, they're under the illusion that race is a real thing, that like it's a biological thing. And that's what connects them as one group. Like they think that they're genetically similar peoples, which is why even though all of their countries are completely separated in culture and in history and in heritage and in language and in foods and in every other way, somehow they're still all one thing because they share a similar skin color. They've been warring with each other for thousands of years over these cultural differences and, the way that they think that you should live and the way religion that you should follow and all these other morals and values. But they come here and say that America is built off of European culture. you know, it's kind of crazy to me because what is that? What do you even mean? What is European culture? The countries in Europe are so different from each other. How can you call? How can you put that together and say it's all one thing? And I see this from a lot of the unaccomplished white supremacists. Like white people, these are disillusioned young men who have no accomplishments of their own to fall back on. They haven't done shit with their life. So they feel like because I'm a part of this group, this made up group that we invented a couple of hundred years ago, we could put all of the accomplishments of all these different countries and cultures together and put it all into one thing and say, yeah, I'm a part of that. That's what I see a lot of. But like when you really break it down, there is no such thing as white culture. What is that? There isn't even really a such thing as European culture because the countries in Europe are so different from each other. The only thing that's connecting them together to make them similar is the skin tone. They don't even look alike. Their skin tone is just similar. It's the same thing in Africa. Like they have the similar skin tone, and not even all of them have similar skin tone. But most of the countries have a similar skin tone, and that's literally the only thing that holds them together. They speak different languages. They live a different culture. They have different religious views. They have different moral views. They're so different from each other. It's not one thing. This is basically part two of what I was talking about yesterday. But people were getting bogged down about the word pride. So we're not going to talk about the white pride thing anymore because I think I made my point with that. But the bigger point I want to get to, which is a very contentious one on this app, is what is white culture? Does white culture exist? And before I go into my spiel, I'll just break down because when we say that white culture doesn't exist, they retort back with, well, that must mean that black culture doesn't exist. And I got to slow you down there because when we talk about black culture, typically we're talking about black American culture, which is a very specific thing, right? We're not talking about all black people from all over the world. Like black American culture is not the same as black, like Jamaican culture or the Dominican culture or any of the countries in Africa. We're very different from them culturally. We have our own unique culture here in America. You could break that down into different unique cultures in each state, but there's commonalities between the cultures in each state. Like we have ribbon in New Orleans. They call it capping here in Houston, Texas. They call it roasting in the North. They call it joning in the Midwest. But we're all talking about the same thing. I use a different word, but the concept is the same. So, our cultures are kind of connected here in the United States. But, you know, in Africa and in Jamaica and the Caribbean and, you know, South America, where there were some black people dropped off during the slave trade, you know, our cultures are very different from theirs. We're not all one big nigga. And Europe is not all one big honky. But somebody is saying they didn't want to talk. Oh, what's up, Jazz? Oh, never mind. He left before I could. He left before I could let him back up here. If you're still down there, you know, you can come back up. I'll listen to you. But when we talk about black culture, we're talking about a very specific thing. We're talking about black American culture, which absolutely exists and can be quantified. Like when I talk about jazz, that's an undeniable black American cultural marker. White culture is the language you're speaking. Of course. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Gray Bully, I don't know if you know, like, all of Europe, they don't all speak English. I don't know if you know. They do. It's colonization. Well, I mean, I'm not talking about that type. We get to pay for y'all's kids. I sure wish that was true, because I need help with these two motherfuckers I got. Pure jealousy. Hate us because they ain't us. I don't even know who you're referring to there. I love when I start getting the comments rolling in. Y'all make this fun. But yeah, when we talk about black culture, we're talking about a specific thing. We're talking about black American culture, which we can quantify and we can all point to and say, yep, that's black culture. When we talk about white culture, first, there's two things that happen. One thing is what the last guy did, which is say, white culture is shit like, I don't know, speaking English, which in the name is fucking England. Like everybody in Europe doesn't speak England. All these countries in Europe, they speak different languages. France speaks French. Italians speak Italian. Like Greeks speak Greek. You know, the Spanish speak Spanish. This is all in Europe. These are not the language I'm speaking is not a white person thing. It's an English thing. It comes from England. This is not a white people thing. There's nothing inherent about whiteness that invented the English language. You know, I mean, they borrow words from other languages because that's kind of how language works. But you know, they're still distinct languages and separate languages from each other. So, like, this is, I don't know. So they do that. They'll say something basic that is, they'll amalgamate a shit that comes from multiple different countries that are disparate and separate from each other and just file that under white culture for whatever reason. Or they'll say something that all humans have had to do since the dawn of time, like hunting or fishing or farming. Really? Yeah, white people are the only people that had to hunt. I guess I don't know how all the other cultures and around the rest of the world, you know, got their food. You know, since the white men were the only ones hunting and fishing, you know, they invented that. They were doing that first. So I don't know what the rest of the world were doing while they were groundbreaking the idea of hunting and fishing. Like, these are things that all humans around the world had to do to live. Like, this is not white culture, bro. Sorry. Architecture. Every house you live in, everything you do. Like, Europe were the only places that had houses. Europe invented the concept of houses, apparently, guys. I don't know. And nobody had houses until Europe said, hey guys, we have this thing called houses. You should try it. Classical music. Classical music means okay. So is let me let me do this. Let me do this. Let's see. Where did classical music come from? I'm sure it's not gonna say Europe. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's see. Historical. All right. Tradition is generally divided into several areas. Medieval period started with monophonic chants like Gregorian chant. Let's see. Renaissance period, classical period, often associated with figures like Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven, and sometimes called Venice classicism. All right, now where is Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven from? Let's see where Beethoven is from. Ludwig, he's German. All right, there you go, Germany. Not white land Europe. Okay, let's see. Where does Mozart come from? Let's see. Do-do-do-do. He was influential. Where is he from? Come on now. He was born in Austria. Oh, somewhere totally. Let's see. It's not Germany. Let's see. A good credit score. Oh, he was Roman. Okay. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Composers worked in Vienna. Where is Vienna? Central Europe. Let's see. Mozart and Beethoven was the home. Da-da-da-da. Eastern Austria. Okay, so Austria. Yeah, I gotta Google it, Warren. I want to say the correct information. I'm sorry. I didn't. Let's see. Violence, fragility, avocado toast. Come on now. We ain't gonna do all that. Huge erection. First of all, Ayo on that name. I'm not talking to a nigga named Huge Erection. So you can bounce. You gotta say Ayo on that name.
You
All right, what's up, Nick, man?
sure.
You all
Culture
right?
is yeah, white culture. I would say
Wait, slow down. Oh, go ahead. Just go ahead.
is like basically conquering half the world. I mean, no
Mm,
other culture's doing that.
mm.
I mean, am I right or am I wrong?
I'm trying to figure out if you're being like if this is supposed to be a meme or not.
I mean, we did it.
Did you have anything else you wanted to go with that?
It's kind of like we basically just conquered half the world.
Or you say we, so like you're. I don't know if you're like speaking French. More European culture apparently. I don't know if you're speaking French, but you're saying we. When you say we, like,
Like other
were
white
you
people.
one of the people? Were you one of those people that were like out there doing the conquering and the raping and the
No.
pillaging? That was that was you,
So are you saying we only did the raping and the pillaging? I'm pretty sure every race has done that.
bro. I'm going off of
But
what
okay,
you said. I'm going off
I'm
what
just
you said.
saying
You
we
said
conquered half the world. That's all I'm saying.
I know. So you're saying we as if like you're a part of that the we.
Okay, white
So like
people conquered half the world.
white people. What is white people?
What is a black person?
I'll answer yours when you answer mine.
It's someone that skin is white. No,
So the
so
Japanese are white.
I guess so.
And the Koreans are white too.
I guess so.
The Argentinians are white too.
If they're white,
You see how this idea breaks down when you think about it for more than 30 seconds?
so is a Indian a black guy? Question.
No,
Is a Mexican a black guy if his skin's dark enough? I mean,
no.
so there's your point.
Well, no, it's not. So the difference is like there's a
The
phenotype,
difference
right?
is the
The
difference
dip.
is we conquered half the world and you guys didn't.
Okay, so you're not trying to have a real conversation. Like if you're gonna meme and troll, you can do that somewhere else. Like I'm not
Just in
how do I say
facts,
in the
we
mindset.
conquered half the world and you guys didn't. That's our culture, is we were able to do that. And the stuff we did to
Why do
do
you
it.
keep saying we? You keep saying we.
Okay,
Like
white people conquered half
you
the world.
live in your mom's basement. You didn't do
I
shit.
don't
Stop saying
live in
we.
my mom's basement. You
Yeah,
might.
you and your auntie slash wife is not doing shit.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
stop saying we. You didn't conquer anything.
Okay, my people
Your
conquered
people.
half the world.
You're not related to the motherfuckers that did anything either. I don't know if you know, but
I'm
they're
pretty
not part of your
sure.
family. You're not related
Would
to
you know
any of them
that?
niggas, bro.
And how would you
I'm
know
s-
that?
uh,
And they wouldn't be niggas because they would be white. Uh,
yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah, stop saying we. You're not a part of the group that was doing the raping and the pillaging. You're saying we like that was your family. No, nigga. You live in your mom's basement with your aunt slash wife together. And your mom and your aunt slash wife still have a pretty good relationship, so they let y'all live together. Anyway, let's see who's next. I'm gonna let Ventricule go. That picture is not giving me a good it's not giving me a good vibe. What you got for me, Ventricule?
Yo, um, what is white culture? So, I mean, I would say white culture is like you look at traditional clothing, dances, songs, languages from different areas around the world. Because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, saying white people is pretty vague, and it's not like there's Scandinavians, there's Germans, there's Russians, there's all these different groups that have their own different cultures. Like if you were to look at traditional German clothing, and I were to say, "Oh, that's the same thing as traditional Russian clothing," I mean that
Mm-hmm.
would be wrong, right?
Exactly.
Just like if I said black culture, every black person is the same. It's false. Like you have African American culture, and even then, there's different groups of that. Like a black person from Southern Louisiana isn't going to be the same as a black person from Baltimore. You know what I mean? Like they have different dialects, different languages, or not languages, um, different pronunciations of words. You know what I mean? They do different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, people. I think people ask this question: "What is white culture?" Is trying to devalue the different cultures that are shared by white people just because they don't like them. I mean, I don't know if that may be true for you, but that's just my opinion.
So let me tell you, because you seem like you're being good faith. So I think that this is a branch of a larger conversation about what race is and if it's socially constructed. A lot of people see race as like a genetic thing, like we're connected genetically as a part of this white group. And obviously that's wrong. That's like phrenology shit, right? And like you said, the term white culture is so vague, it doesn't really mean anything. Because when we think of cultures, we think of what? Foods, dances, religion, like social customs, and all these things. And these, because we associate whiteness with Europe, because that's what when we're talking about white people, we're usually talking about people who descend from Europe.
Yeah, but I mean,
all
even
these all these countries that are in Europe with they all have different foods and different languages and different dances and different musics and all these different things. Like they've been warring with each other for thousands of years over what religion we need to follow and how you're supposed to live and the different morals and values that they're supposed to have. Like they've been literally killing each other over the disagreements over that. And then people come after that and tell me, yeah, we're all just part of one big European culture. And I don't, that doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. I mean,
So, you know,
but even then, like
so
associating like white Americans to their European lineage, like culture wise, is kind of wrong. Because like, tell me how much in common a redneck cowboy dude from Texas has to some dude living in Iceland right now, besides the fact that they have a similar skin tone.
exactly. Yeah, that's the point I'm making. Because like, the thing is, like when we talk about black culture, I know, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody. When I talk about black culture, that's not including Africa. That's not including the Caribbean. That's not including when I'm talking about black culture, we're usually talking about black American culture. You know, shit like jazz, hip hop, you know, cornbread and greens, like shit. That shit. That's what and even if different states around America have different spins on it, we're all talking about the same thing. Everybody, all blacks in America. I shouldn't have said blacks. That's crazy. Black people all over America eat cornbread. Black people all over America eat chicken. You know, I was trying to avoid saying that. Black people all over America eat greens and black-eyed peas. We all eat cabbage on New Year. We might have different words for shit like roasting. Like in Louisiana, we call it ribbon. In Texas, they call it capping. In the Midwest, they call it what's the word? Joning. In the Northeast, they call it roasting. It's different words for the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
we have like a connecting culture here in America that is completely separate from the other black nations like Nigeria or the Sudan or Ethiopia or whatever in Africa. We're not all the same. We're not all one big nigga. So I don't like it when people make it like black culture is just all this one thing, that we're all just one big nigga. And I don't believe the same thing for Europe either. I don't think white people are all one big honky. I don't think because what people do when they try to amalgamate all the accomplishments and all the cool things of different, separate, unique European cultures and put them together as all one thing, they're usually making up for a lack of accomplishment that they have in their own life. And they want to feel better by saying, look at all the cool things my people did, my white people did. Well, no, it wasn't your white people. You probably descended from, I don't know, the Irish or something, which is completely different from Germany, which is completely different from Italian, which is completely different from Spain. Like all these European countries, they are not the same shit. You don't get to put all of that shit together as one thing and say, we're this one thing. Look at how great my group is. Your group doesn't even agree with each other.
I know.
So, but that's all I was saying. So you seem like you don't disagree. So respectfully, I got to get you the fuck up out of here.
All right.
But thanks for the conversation. Huge erection. I'm gonna let you in just because you were you stuck around. I told you I wasn't gonna talk to a nigga named Huge Erection, but like the fact that you stayed in here anyway. You know what? I'm curious. Let me listen to what you're saying. What you got to say, bro? NASCAR. White people do love NASCAR, but you know, again, that's something I would probably just call Southern culture. Like niggas like NASCAR too, depending on what part of the country you in. Like if I go to my cousins in Kentwood, Louisiana, they probably like NASCAR. I haven't seen them in a little while, so I can't say for sure. But them motherfuckers, them country ass Kentwood niggas, they probably watch NASCAR. Like all the shit that they were saying too, like mud and riding 4-wheelers. That's not white people shit. That's Southern shit. My cousins in Louisiana, they ride 4-wheelers. They go mudding. They go hunting. They go fishing. Like that is not a white thing. That's a Southern thing. And that Southern culture wasn't from just white people. As long as there was a South, there was niggas in the South. So like y'all didn't develop that culture by yourself. Sorry. unfortunately, due to what happened, the thing that y'all keep telling us we need to get over and stop talking about. Unfortunately, that Southern culture that we're talking about was not developed by only white people. Niggas was there the whole time. We was engaging in all that same shit. We was hunting and we was fishing and we was farming and we was doing all that shit too. And now we're riding four wheelers, we're going mudding, we're riding big trucks, we're doing all the same shit that you're talking about. Golf, Fred, I don't think you want to go down this rabbit hole with sports. You don't want to go down the sports rabbit hole. Being educated and productive. Yeah, I'm wrong. What am I wrong about? What am I wrong about? Oh, no, a huge erection left. All right, John Schultz comedy. You're a I'm assuming you're a comedian. Let's see what you... Oh, never mind. I guess he left too. Golf is Scottish. That's crazy. Sports originated in Aztec tribes. I mean, me personally, I don't even consider sports as like a cultural thing. Like, to me, sports is just games. And all peoples around the world had games. They just had different games. It's not like a cultural, Like, is basketball black people culture? Probably not. I don't know. Black people like playing basketball, but they didn't invent basketball. But when we think about basketball, everybody associates it with black people. So I don't like doing the sports thing. Sports, I'm not going to attribute sports to a certain group and say that's their culture. Like, it's just games. Culture is not really a race thing. Yeah, but we're talking about white culture. That's inherently racial, dude. All right. Let's see. I don't know which one of y'all came here first, so I'm just going to go to K20 because I like the picture of the car he has. Do, 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 do. How do we not know what white culture? Y'all have been trying and failing to explain it to me, so that's part of it. K20, I don't know if your connection's just fucked up, but it's taking a little while for you to come in, so I'm gonna give you 5 more seconds. K20 going once, K20 going twice. K20, your Temu connection is failing you. I think I have to get rid of you, bro. Sorry. All right, who's next? I'm gonna see what Will said because he was up here before, bro. What's up, Will? What you got for me?
Hey, Kenny,
What's up, bro?
KNNY. I don't know how to pronounce
That's
that.
it. You got it right.
I'll say Wilson. What's up, Wilson?
That's
Kenny
good too.
Wilson.
What's going on? Can you hear me, by the way? I don't know if you can
I
hear
can
me.
hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Check
Go
mic,
ahead, bro.
check mic.
What you got to say?
Said, do white people have culture? I think so.
What's some of that culture? Tell me.
Uh, all inclusiveness. Hiking. I don't know,
Hiking.
frisbee golf.
Okay, let me stop you. So you said let's do
Fucking.
these. Let's do this one by one. Let's do this one by one. Okay. So Will, do you think white people invented hiking?
Oh hell no.
Okay. Well, let
We
let
all
me
been walking.
let's get a standard of what we're considering culture here. So when you say
Yeah,
culture,
it's
are you referring to like things that what we're calling white people usually do the most, or are you talking about things that are like historically linked
oh
to that group?
that's fair, right? Because activities are a broad spectrum. Everybody does
Mhm.
all the activities. So
Right.
I
Right.
guess I need to let's define culture.
Yeah. So to me, uh I think of culture as like distinctive markers like dances or foods or music or like certain, how do I say, it's kind of like when we in the black community, right, when we say God is good, and other black people will know the answer all the time, like the call and response, like shit like that, that's like inherent to that specific culture, you know.
Yeah.
I,
Hey.
I hope I'm making sense with
He.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to go off it. If I said he is risen,
Yeah, see, I don't even know what that is.
he is risen indeed.
Oh,
That's
that's y'all's version of God is good.
yeah. Well, I mean, Ash Friday, right? Well, that's a thing.
Yeah, we all do Ash Friday though. Like I'm from New Orleans, so most of New Orleans is Catholic. They're doing Ash Fridays too.
Well, I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to ask.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know. I'm
but
up in the
that
Pacific Northwest. We
okay.
we eat crawdads too.
Craw.
I
See, y'all
mean,
call them crawdads. That's the crazy thing.
crayfish,
We call them
crawfish,
crawfish.
crawdads.
If you come to New Orleans, talk about crawdads or crayfish, they gonna look at you like they're not gonna know what the fuck you're talking about. They're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Like
well,
that's
I don't
a
know where New Orleans is, but I know where Nolans is.
I like you,
But may,
Will.
you
I,
know,
I like I like you, Will. Like, so here's my thing,
I've been
bro.
well traveled.
'Cause I, I
Don't
I got you.
don't
I
call me
got you.
your
See,
average white boy.
yeah, you got to be a local to understand that. So I fuck with you, Will. So I think that when I say that white people don't have culture, I'm not saying that you don't have. I live in Texas, Ken. I'm from New Orleans, but I've been living here in Texas since Katrina hit. I came here after Katrina. So,
Good.
but yeah, like in what you call it? Damn, I forgot what I was about to say. Oh, I was saying that white. I'm not saying that white people are like there's no culture that comes from what we're calling white people. I'm saying that there's no unified white culture because there's so many different, unique, and separate cultures in Europe, which is where we usually connect white people to. They're so different
Right.
from each other. You can't put them under one umbrella and say it's the same thing. Like German culture is so different from Italian culture, which is so different from French culture, which is so different from Spanish culture. Like, how can you
I
put that
thank
all
you.
together? You see what I'm saying? How can you put all that together and say that that's all one thing? It's just white.
This is just the same way you can't say all black culture is Africa. I understand the prompt, right? Yeah,
Yes.
like Africa is a big ass friggin' place, but
Right. Exactly,
African
Will.
culture is not the same as Black American culture.
Exactly. See, you're
Just
getting my
because you
point.
carry the
You're getting it.
yeah, I mean it's a little rage baity, but I understand. Like you're asking a question, trying to get some engagement out here, and trying to get some people to actually answer the friggin' question.
Yeah, I want people to think about this, like actually think about it for more than 30 seconds. Like, cause like you're right. I don't see to make it simple for people, like because people think of Africa as like black land where everybody's just one group of people. Like we're all
Yeah,
one people. Like there's 54 different countries with hundreds of different languages and hundreds of different cultures and ethnicities. We're not all the same. We're pardon my French, Will, but we're not all one big
yep.
nigga. We are not all the same people. And I think the same way about Europe. You're not all one big honky. You're not all just this white. You know what I'm saying? You get
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say, Will?
yeah. That was the wildest thing for me when I joined the Navy, right? And there was a couple of dudes. They didn't say oil, they said oil,
Yeah, we say Earl in New
and
Orleans. It's Earl.
they and you get to talking about family and whatnot and all these things, and I knew not less than three white boys that had never seen a black person in person
Mm-hmm.
except for on the television, and that was wild to me. All three of them from Alabama,
Got you. Well,
and
you
that
know
was
what?
hard to wrap my head around. And
I
then
fuck
and
with
then
you,
the next
Will.
question out of my I'm sorry, what?
No, I know you want to tell your story, Will, but I really wanted to talk to people who disagree. I fuck with you, Will. I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but
Yeah,
I want to. I know these other people want to fight with me, and they're gonna leave if I wait too
yeah.
long. So I fuck with you, but I
Can
gotta get you the fuck
can
up out of here. Sorry. I fuck with. I like you, Will. I like you, but like, you know. But shout out to you, Will. You got it, Will. You got it. If you just come in here not ready to argue and you actually think about this for more than 5 seconds, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Will got it. Let's see if the rest of you can. I'm gonna let him come up next. All right, what's up, energetic?
Can you hear me on here?
Very faintly. I barely can hear you, bro.
Not right now.
Nah, it's still bad. Like, hold up. While you get your connection together, I'm gonna let Hard R come up here. I already know what they about to go into, but I'm gonna let you get your mic situation dealt with. I'm gonna give you a little bit. Let's see who else we got
Me on now?
here. I'm gonna let Chunkles the champ. I feel like he's about to be on some bullshit too, but let's see.
Who, me?
Oh, never mind. I think they left. All right, never mind. Okay, energetic. I can hear you now. What you got?
All right. All right. I'm thinking about, those Irish line dances that we got?
Mm-hmm.
Um, we got we got beans on toast, man. We got bad teeth. Um,
Bad teeth. Sheesh. No
yeah, yeah,
dental line?
yeah. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think.
Y'all got
Damn.
like investigating, when scary shit happened in scary movies and getting killed by the monster when you should
Oh,
have mind
bro,
your
we
damn business?
we love horror shit. We love conspiracy theory type shit, investigating the government. We love making bullshit propaganda, man. We love like getting under people's skin, but that's also if we're like, a little bit mentally ill. I think at our we want to be little helper boys, but we're too caught up in
Mm.
our main like our dominator shit. We can't get over that domination shit, bro. We got to keep
I
pushing that
see. I
thing.
see.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so line dances, bad food.
I like how line dances was your first thing. Like, people usually start with their strongest point, and you're like, yeah, line dances. That's the
It's tough,
one.
bro. I'm lost out here.
Yeah. No, I get what you're trying to say. Like, but on a serious note, bro,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
just so people understand me, I'm not trying to say that the ultimate point I'm getting to is for people to think about these racial categories and how arbitrary it is. Like
for
white
real.
and black, it there's no such thing as white culture. There's so many different countries of what we're calling white countries, and they're so
Exactly.
different from each other. Like the Irish, what you said, the Irish line dance, they don't do
Yeah,
that in all of Europe.
they
That's an
don't.
Irish thing.
Exactly.
That's not a white people thing. That's an Irish thing. Like beans on toast is like a English thing. They don't do that in all of Europe.
Yeah.
That's an English thing. Like there's no such thing as white culture. Y'all have spent thousands of years warring and literally killing each other over moral disagreements and religious disagreements. Y'all can't agree on shit, and
Oh
y'all want
shit.
to
Yep.
yeah. They want to come together and say we're all one thing. No, the fuck you're not.
Amen, dude. I'm gonna peace out. I'd
Yeah,
love
but
to hear somebody of like a true op fight with you on this one.
exactly. Shout out to you, bro. But respectfully, I got to get you the fuck up out of here. So thanks for the examples. He gave some examples. The beans on toast, line dancing. Line dancing is tough. You know, especially if you're doing it with the kilt on. Oh man, you're really gonna kill him with that one. But let's see what Jesus has to say. Jesus, mud hut. Dang, why you left, Jesus? Mud huts. You think they didn't have mud huts in fucking Europe, bro? You think when humanity came to be, they immediately started building cathedrals and shit? Like, come on now. Like all nations don't develop at the same rate, but that doesn't mean that the people are worse or dumber or inherently different. It's just, you know, that's all they had is my point. Oh, I got you. I mean, you know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he thinks English is white culture. They all keep saying that. I don't understand that. When you say English is white culture, are they speaking English in, I don't know, Uzbekistan? Is that their language? Are they? I mean, they learn English so that they can talk to English speakers, but that's not their language. You know, a lot of Europe learn multiple languages because they have to so that they can talk to people from other countries. It's not because that's their language. Like, English is not the white language. Sorry. Spanish is not white language. That's why half of the people in America speak Spanish, you know? Mexico, I don't know if y'all will call Mexicans white, but, you know, they speak Spanish down there. Is that are they white too now? Are they a part of the white culture because they speak Spanish? That's fucking stupid. All right, let's see. I'm going to let Dot come up here first. Let's see what Dot has to say.
Hey,
What's
man.
up, Dot?
What's up?
What you got for me, bro?
Cars, bikes, TVs, the telephone.
Those the examples you wanted? Hold
Microphone,
up. Let's do this one by one. Let's do this one
camera.
by one. Wait, hold up. Slow down. Slow down.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Do you those the examples you brought up? Do you know who invented the television? Before we even go down this rabbit hole, who invented the television? Oh, now he's Googling to find out. See, here's my problem. You people come up here and confidently say shit. Y'all confidently say shit and don't have no backing for what you're saying. He had to go and Google that. He had to go. He's naming shit that he assumed that was invented by white people. What we're calling white people. This is what I'm talking about, bro. These people, they have nothing going on in their personal lives, and they take being white as a badge of honor because they have nothing else to be proud of. So they amalgamate all the accomplishments and inventions that they think, because they haven't done any research to know this for sure, that they think is associated with whiteness. The problem is all the countries that this shit comes from are all in opposition to each other. They've been warring and fighting with each other for thousands of years because they disagree on culture. They disagree on the religion they're supposed to follow. They disagree on the language you're supposed to speak and the life that you're supposed to live. These are not all the same people. So when you say TV, television, cell phones, and you don't even know who actually invented this shit, you just assumed that it was a white man that invented this shit, it proves my point even further. You don't even know this for sure. Dot, I'm not letting you back up. All right. Wait, one of y'all said stop yapping. Let me see which one of y'all. I'm going to talk to you next. Let's see, Luke. Let's see what Luke has to say. All right, Luke, what you got for me?
All right, man. If English is not white culture, why is it spoken in majority white countries by majority white people?
I mean, English is spoken all over the world.
I'd beg to differ. It's spoken most in the white countries, though.
Yeah, they have to speak that language to communicate with other. You know, America is
In
like the
majority white
biggest.
countries.
Well, no, it's not
Yes.
the problem is you're associating
Spoken
with the
by
whiteness.
majority white people.
If we're gonna do this, we're going to. This is not like a democracy where I'm gonna let you talk over me. Like we're not
A
doing that.
democracy?
Yeah, I'm not going to let
Do
you
you
talk
even
over
know
me
the
while I'm
definition
talking.
of democracy?
I'm giving you one more chance because I actually want to go down this rabbit hole with you, but
You
we're not
don't.
going
You're
to do.
not very
Okay,
educated.
never mind, never mind. I gave you another chance and you blew it. I gave you another chance and you blew it. I wanted to do this with you, but I'm not going to be talked over on my own shit. I don't know if y'all realize this is my shit. So I don't have to let you talk. I don't have to let you up here, period. I could just keep yapping by my damn self. Because this is just clips for me to upload somewhere else later anyway. I'm not doing this because I like being live and talking to you people. I'm uploading this as content for another platform that I'm going to use. So I don't have to talk to you. All right. Luke, you're not coming back. Sorry. All right. Let me see what Cat Thief has to say. He's been here for a little while. All right. What's up, Cat Thief?
Chief, what's going
Oh,
on?
Cat Chief. My bad, bro. Go ahead.
You're good, sir. You're good, sir. I mean, honest, I just think culture is an umbrella term, man. I think a people's written and spoken language in that particular area and community fall into that area's culture. So, like, I was born in California, Modesto, California. So, like, the culture around there, our language and how we talk to each other might be different from people in Louisiana and maybe a white community. So
It is. Yeah, you're right about that. But what I'm asking is like, so my contention is with the term white, right? So when we say white culture, what do we really mean? Because like with the example you brought of language, I don't know if people don't realize, but all of Europe doesn't speak one language. They don't all speak one language. They may all overlap languages because they have to talk to each other. Like the last dude tried to make the point, like they all speak English. Well, they have to speak English because they're constantly in communications with each other. But English is not their language. Their language is the language that comes from their country. So France, there's going to be a lot of people in France who speak English because they have to talk to English people. But that doesn't mean English is France's language. France's language is French. They have their own language. Spain, they're going to speak English most likely because they have to talk to English people. Unfortunately, the countries that speak English are the ones that are the economic powerhouses right now. People have to talk to them to do business. That doesn't mean that that's their language. Spanish people from Spain are going to probably speak English as a second or third or whatever language. That doesn't make English their language. Spain has Spanish as their language. France has French as their language. English has English, or England has English as their language.
Yeah, for sure.
Portugal, you know what I'm saying? So these are different from each other. It's not all one thing is the point I'm trying to make. They're all different from each other. Germans speak German. Italians speak Italian. Swedish people speak Dutch. Like it's not all the same shit. So when we say white culture, what the fuck does that mean?
Okay. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I understand.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I don't really think that white culture really exists. I think that's more of a loaded term, but I don't really think it exists. That's like if
Me
I
neither.
said, if I said, what is black culture? I can't pinpoint that, dude. You guys have an amazing culture, just like a lot of other places and people have amazing culture, it's also, it's different where you're at, like I said, like Louisiana white community might be different than a Modesto, California white community. They might
Right.
have a different, way they say, how you doing today, or like if somebody says, oh, hey, like have a good one, and they say, oh, bet, or they'll just say, yeah, you
Right.
too, it's kind of just a little different, and that's That's really all I see. I don't really think there's such thing as white culture or black culture or this or that. I think it's because then you're generalizing people. You're generalizing everybody and individuals.
Yeah, well, and I'm like, what I'm getting to at the end of all of this is that race is an arbitrary thing. Race is not a real thing. It's something. It's a category that we made up a couple hundred years ago. So, like, these racial categories, it's not a unifying attribute, because all the people that we're calling white, they're not all the same people. And the same thing goes for black people. And I said this before, I don't know if you've been here long. I talked to the last guy and he kind of had the same view as you did, and I agree with him. Like, when we talk about black culture, typically we're talking about a specific type of black culture. We're talking about Black American culture, because Black American culture is not the same as like Caribbean culture, like Jamaica or Trinidad or the Dominican Republic or Haiti. They're not the same. They're different from each other, which is not the same as the countries in Africa, like Nigeria or the Sudan or Ethiopia or South Africa or even in Egypt. Like, they're not all the same. We're not all one big nigga. And I want the white community to realize that you're not all one big honky. Okay. You can be proud of your German heritage and your German culture. Well, German people have culture, right?
100%.
Irish people have culture. English people have culture. White people do not, because there is no such thing as white. There's no white culture. There's no culture that all white people share that they all agree with. They literally been spending the last thousands years warring and murdering and killing each other over these cultural issues. They've been disagreeing on a massive scale on their culture for a long time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we're talking like, yeah, I don't believe that there's a white culture, but I know that I'm primarily, I think, Germanic and Irish. So I would say whatever culture I have is kind of the area I grew up in here in the United States. And then if I were to look back and maybe go spend some time in those roots and learn more about it, then I'd be able to speak on it. But if I was going to say, that'd probably be the cultural roots I'd try to dig up to find out more about myself. But yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Cat Chief. I talked to you for longer than I probably should have, because I'm trying to talk to people who disagree with me. So if I fuck with you and you said some good shit, but respectfully, I got to get you the fuck up out of here. So let's see who's next. I don't know which one of y'all were actually next. I'm gonna put King's Rock because I feel like I've seen him here for a little while. Doop. Shout out to you, Cat Chief. I wasn't trying to be a dickhead. I just wanted to get to other people.
Oh,
'cause you
snap.
agree with me
My
already.
service is really bad. Look, can you hear me?
I hear you right now. Go ahead.
Okay, great. No, yeah, I just wanted to touch on an earlier point you had mentioned about Hispanic or like, like culture in South America. So something interesting that happened when the Spaniards colonize a lot of South America. Like me specifically, I'm what you call a mestizo. So that doesn't mean I'm neither native or Spaniard, but my
kind of like a mix.
Yeah, my mix was like literally R-worded into existence, and
Right.
the same thing happened to a lot of African people that were brought here from Africa during the transcontinental slave trade, but
Correct.
but just all that to say that like I am fairly ambivalent to the circumstances that I was born into, right? But it's kind of hard to see a lot of people not realize that like Spanish culture pretty much took over every like native culture in South America. Like, you will be hard pressed to find those like previous languages that like my ancestors spoke. Like, the only person in my entire family line that speaks like a specific tongue from some unknown, now like desolate tribe is my grandmother. But no, yeah, I mean, I generally agree with the point. I was gonna disagree because I didn't know that like what you meant by like white people having culture. Like, basically your entire point is that white people aren't a monolith, right?
Exactly.
Okay. No, yeah, but
In a more crass way, I say like you're not all one big honky. Okay, there's, you know, it's so
yeah.
many different, unique, separate cultures from each other. There's no way to to say that there's white culture. Like it makes no sense.
No, yeah, because I was seeing like Rick down here in the comments, and he was like, "Yeah, because black cultures are so peaceful," and it's like, again, like that's kind of missing the point. I get what you were trying to say now, but yeah, no, I just
There you
wanted
go.
to
Yeah.
point that one thing out. But yeah, no reason to disagree if that's what the definition you're using then.
For sure, for sure. So good shit with you two, and respectfully, I gotta get you the fuck up out of here. But good talks. People are understanding when if you think about it, okay, get out of your racist mind. Oh, this black guy said that white people did something. Like, oh, get out of that mind and just think about it for more than 30 seconds and say, wait a minute, what are we actually talking about here? Like when we say white culture, what are we actually talking? Are we? Because I keep seeing a lot of people saying religion, and y'all don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Like y'all have literally been murdering each other for thousands of years because you disagreed on what religion you're supposed to follow. You can't even agree on what version of Christianity you want to follow. The reason America exists is because they couldn't agree on what version of Christianity they want to follow. They're literally called Protestants because they've been protesting against the version of Christianity that they were following. Y'all spent thousands of years killing each other because of Christianity and y'all's disagreements on Christianity, and you're gonna tell me that Christianity is the reason why we're all the same. That makes no fucking sense. Y'all have 1,000 different versions of Christianity that all disagree with each other and say that the others are false teachings. And you're trying to tell me Christianity is what makes y'all the one thing that makes y'all one unified culture. Think about what you're saying, bro. Let's see who's next. I'm gonna let Xavier come. I'm gonna let some Negroes up here for a second.
Yo,
What's up, Xavier?
How are you?
I'm good, man. What you got for me?
Pretty much agree. I was curious on your thoughts because I would argue that there is a white American culture, or maybe just an American culture, whatever you would call it, or you could break it down and say, oh, it's like some Midwest American culture. What are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Cause I got that a lot too in the comments of people saying like hiking, hunting, fishing, riding four-wheelers. I'm from New Orleans, okay? I got people who live in Kentwood, Louisiana, and in Mississippi. And I live in Houston, Texas now. And let me tell you, niggas is hunting, niggas is shooting guns in the field, niggas is riding four-wheelers, niggas is fishing, niggas is hiking, niggas is riding boats on lakes. We doing all that shit too. This is not white people shit. Like, as long as the South has been a thing and Southern culture has been a thing, niggas has been a part of it. Southern culture is not white people culture. It's just Southern culture. So, and it's the same thing, like you said, maybe up in the Northeast or whatever. I can't speak on that personally because I don't really know anything about it. But as long as white people have been in that area, I'm sure there were black people there too, engaging in all the same culture that y'all are saying that white people invented. So I can't take this idea, like, again, it's not white people shit. I don't know. It confuses me when we say that something is white culture. It's confusing.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not saying that they invented it. I'm saying that there are probably aspects of their culture, like what you said. Black people are doing it too. Okay, well, I would agree. Then that's just American culture, and there is a shared culture between Americans, regardless of race, like indiscriminate of race. And so I'm not debating like who invented what. I'm just saying, like, when you're talking about like your average white American, that's probably going to be, especially if their lineage traces back to the colonial era, they're probably not going to be from one place in Europe. And so it makes no sense for them to be like, oh, my culture is Irish, unless it's like a strong Irish American community.
Yeah. I mean, are you
Or like
talking about
a,
shit like skateboarding and snowboarding and like
I
like the
mean, shit.
stereotypical things that we call white people shit?
I'm not talking about those stereotypes. I'm just saying like when you talk about like your prompt says, do white people have a culture? Yeah, I would agree. Like racialized culture maybe does or doesn't exist. That's not my premise. But the white American, what can they say is their culture that is not tied to Europe? I would argue that they still do have an American culture.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But the thing is too with that is like then we get into like cuz like when I think of that, I think of like redneck culture. But when I think about redneck culture, I'm now it just turns into southern shit and niggas was there doing the southern shit too. So it's I don't know. It's every time you try to racialize it only confuses. It doesn't make it make any more sense. It only like uh how do I say it broadens it to where it doesn't mean anything anymore. But you don't disagree with me, so respectfully, I got to get you the fuck up out of here anyway. So, shouts out to you, Xavier. We had to let at least one black person up here. All right, Spitfire been here for a little while, so I'm gonna see what he has to say. And I'm gonna have to leave here in a little bit soon, so I ain't gonna talk to that many more of y'all. There's only 5 people listening anyway. Oh, Muzzy, oh damn, my bad, Muzzy. My bad, Muzzy. I saw you in the chat and I forgot to add you. All right, 904 Duval. 904 Duval. Oh, what happened? Anyway, I probably should be ending this soon anyway, but I like that most of the people when they actually listen to what I said, they kind of get it now. Duval. Shouts out to Florida. You know what I'm saying? I got people in Florida too. I miss Florida, man. Well, I stayed in Miami for a summer when I was a kid. And man, that was some of the best time I had in my life, dude. What happened, Tom? Why you took away your thing? I would have let you up. But yeah, like Florida was like being in Florida. I was in fucking Dade County, Liberty City, Miami, bro. In the hood for real. But it was so much fun. We was up there in Hollywood. We was hung around in Fort Lauderdale for a little while. It was a fun time, man. I love Florida. I wish I could go back. Anyway, I hope people can understand what I'm getting at here, and that I'm not trying to tell you Broward County. I was a kid, so I don't know if we passed through. We might have passed through Broward County. I don't know much about that. We was in Dade County, man. We was in Liberty City, out there where Rick Ross and them is from. Oh, that's Fort Lauderdale? Okay. So yeah, we was out there then. Okay, we was out there then. We was in Fort Lauderdale a little bit, because I forgot where we went that was in Fort Lauderdale. But we was out there for a little bit, but we was in Miami for the most part, because my grandma lives in Miami. They still have that house in Liberty City right now. I don't know what they doing with it. All of European history, like, come on. It's all the same shit, South Florida. Yeah, it's not that far from each other, so that makes sense. But I miss it out there, bro. It was so much fun. With the Paul Over Beach as a 12-year-old, that was crazy. I don't even know how they let me do that. Anyway, wait, hold up. Somebody requested. Let's see who requested. Request The Truth. Oh my God, this man's name is The Truth. I better get some life-changing information from this motherfucker. What you got for me, Truth?
So you could consider white culture as American culture or European culture, bruh, or South African culture. I mean, there's a lot of white people in South Africa. I mean, it's just like it's basically all over the world. There's different areas with white people who have different cultures. I mean, it's different throughout a lot of Europe, and it's different throughout a lot of Asia. And you could consider you could consider a lot of people throughout Asia white because a lot of people in Asia have white skin, and it's like, dude, it's just there's so much culture in the world from white people as well. I just don't understand that topic. I don't understand, like, I don't get it. Do you think white
So
people have
can I
culture?
ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you used the word different. So you said that there's a bunch of different people that we would call white that live in all these different places that have different cultures from each other.
Yes, 100%.
All right. What makes it white culture other than them just having white skin?
That's literally what it is.
That's
It's
literally it, right? And that's what I'm talking about, Truth.
because,
That's
well,
what I'm
the
that's
thing
what I'm
is,
talking about.
no. The thing is because if you could look at it from any European perspective, there are so many different countries in Europe that have different cultures that follow different things, that follow different morals and religions and all these different like ideologies that are from different cultures. There's a lot of countries over there that have different cultures. France.
Mm-hmm.
France is a culture. French is a culture. You know, they have a bunch of, and then like France has its own different culture than the UK or
Can
Switzerland.
I
And, like,
stop you, Truth? Truth, you're saying what I'm saying. That's the point I've been making this whole time. The problem is the conclusion that you're drawing from it is that yeah, we're all under this white umbrella, and that's what I have a contention with. Like, I don't think that there's a reason to categorize y'all as one group based on your skin color. If you're so different from each other and have so many different cultures from each other, what's the point of making you all one honky?
that is exactly the truth, dude. That makes no sense for what them to be like, oh yes, this is one ginormous umbrella of white culture. It's literally, there's so many different types of white people, and I think this is where a lot of people get the misconception from, is that, oh, all white people are this, all white people are inherently racist, racism is all white people. It's just like I'm saying is there's a lot of racism and problems in America, right? And there's a lot of white people in America that are very bad. But I'm also saying is there's
Mm-hmm.
plenty of other white people throughout the world that share cultures with different people. You know what I'm saying? I think that your culture is whatever you want it to be, where your family came from, which you want to share
Mm-hmm.
throughout your family. I mean, like, what have your family done? Like, what's your family's culture? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you guys celebrate? I feel like that's what
Okay,
it is.
so
It's more individualized.
truth. Let me slow you down. So I think you're coming with the impression that I'm saying that the people that that the people that we're calling white, that we that descend from European nations, that they don't have culture. Like uh the Germans don't have culture, the Irish don't have culture. That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying that they do. I'm saying that the Germans have culture. I'm saying that the Irish has culture. I'm saying that Italy has culture. I'm saying that Spain has culture. I'm saying all these different cultures, all these different countries, they have cultures. I'm saying that they're different from each other. I'm saying that they're unique. I'm saying that they're separate. I'm saying that they're not all one thing.
Oh yeah,
So
I agree with you. 100%.
my contention with this, the term isn't with the culture part, it's the white part. Like, why would we amalgamate all these separate, unique, different cultures and countries who have been warring with each other and killing each other over disagreements on what religion to follow and what type of lifestyle to live and what version of Christianity to follow, and all these things? They've been marred with war for thousands of years over these disagreements, and we come back in 2025 and say they're all one thing. Does that make sense to you?
No, not at all, and that's just pure ignorance to say that is all one thing. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, I think that I agree with you.
But that's what you're doing when you call it white culture. When you say it's white culture, you're putting it all into one group as if they're all one thing, and they're not.
Oh no, not at all. That's not what I was. If I came off as that, that's not what I was trying to say. That, yeah, what you're
No,
saying makes
I'm
sense.
what I'm saying is I'm debating with the term white culture. That's what I have the contention with, the term white culture. There's no such thing as white culture. These countries that we're calling white countries, they're so different from each other. There's no way to put them all under one umbrella as one thing. Like, saying white culture makes no sense.
Yeah, it's like saying black culture, because then there's African American culture. There's a bunch of, like, in the islands. There's plenty of people that you would consider black because of their
Right.
their color, and they're completely different.
Yeah, like Black American culture is different from Jamaican culture, which is different from Haitian culture, which is different from Nigerian culture, which is different from South Africa. Like,
you can't just
we're
say
not
black
all one
culture.
big nigga. This is how I'm making it easy for people, man. We're not all one big nigga. We're not all the same because we have brown skin and we come descend from Africa. It doesn't make us all one people. And I believe the same thing for Europe. I don't think you're all one big hunky. I don't think you're all under white culture. I think you have German culture. I think you have Irish culture and Italian culture,
Spain,
French culture.
Stretches back to the Renaissance, even the Greeks. Like there's like plenty of different areas that have separate culture from each other, and it's just I think people just get that idea that it's all the same, and I don't understand that. I feel like that's pure ignorance. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect. And I'm glad that like you actually listen, so you understand where I'm coming from. So then we actually don't disagree. So shout out to you, but respectfully, I got to get you the fuck up out of here too. I'm looking for people to fight with right now. And I only got a couple more minutes, so I'm only taking one more person. Oh, this might be a good one. Let me see what Jew has to say. What's up, Jew?
Yeah, host.
What you got for me?
Yeah, so white people obviously have culture.
Have you been listening? Were you listening when I was talking to the last guy?
No.
Okay.
Not here.
Okay. So before we go down that rabbit hole, I'm gonna just put all my cards on the table. Okay. I recognize the different cultures that come from these European nations that we're calling white nations. So I recognize the Irish and the German and the Spanish and the French and the Swedish and, all these different countries and different cultures in Europe, right? I recognize that they do have culture. Okay? I'm putting that out there. What I'm telling y'all is that they are different, which you know that already. They're different from each other. They're not all one thing. So what's the point of amalgamating all these different, unique, and separate cultures from each other and calling it one thing of white culture? What sense does that make?
Would you use that same logic for black culture? Like, for example...
Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
That's a beautiful
like
argument.
in Africa, if Black Americans culture is different from African, like Nigerian culture or Sudanese culture or Ethiopian culture or Haitian culture or Jamaican culture. They're not all the same thing. We're not all one big nigga, Jew. And I believe that Europe and the people who descend from Europe are not all one big hunky. You're not all the same thing. You're not all one thing. So there is no such thing as white culture. There's German culture, there's Italian culture, there's English culture, but they're different and separate from each other. They've been fighting each other and killing each other for thousands of years.
So there's no such thing as black culture.
Well, now let me say this. When it comes to black culture, when we say black culture, we're typically talking about Black American culture. We're typically talking about the black culture that we developed here in America after slavery and during Jim Crow and the segregation time. That's usually what we're referring to, that very specific thing of that type of black culture.
And you can use that same logic for... You can use that same logic for white...
That doesn't include the rest of Africa. That doesn't include Jamaica. That doesn't include... So you can't use that for the white group, because when people are saying... No,
white
you can't,
American
because
culture is a beautiful
when people are saying white people have culture, they're saying shit like civilization, architecture, buildings. It's like, no, like... Oh, well, what are you...
For example, the very first foundational technologies of the internet were developed independently by two white American men, including Tim Berners-Lee, who invented the World Wide Web, the creation that comprises every publicly available site on the internet.
Wait. Let's go one by one. So what was that first thing you said?
The very first foundational technologies of the internet were developed independently by two white American men, meaning that the manifestation...
You can stop there. What was it about them being white that made them able to do that?
Hold on. You don't have to, your invention doesn't have to be on the basis of you being white. in order for it
No,
to be
I
created,
know, but
or in
the
order
point
for it to
I'm
be
getting,
considered
I
white
know,
culture,
I know,
white
G.
American
But
culture.
can you hear my mic? You hear my
Yeah, of
mic?
course. You asked me like a
We're
kind of
not
later
doing
question.
the talk over thing. Like
Like you
I
don't
don't
have
know
to
if
be
y'all don't
white in
know.
order to create
This is
something in
my
order for it to.
Jew. Hold up, I'm gonna
Mhm.
mute you because I actually want to have this conversation with you, but like we're not doing the talk over thing. So like I'm gonna give you another chance, but listen to me. When you point out that those two people were white Americans, you have to explain what was it about them being white. Otherwise, what you're describing isn't white culture. You're describing just something invented by white people. That's not the same as white culture.
I actually think that's incorrect. First, I'm talking about white American culture, not white culture as a whole, right? And
Yeah, but I
secondly,
mean, even that can be folded into just American culture.
yeah, but black culture can also be folded into American culture if you're going off that logic.
Well, I think black culture in the context that we're speaking of is a little different from like white American culture.
Yeah, so if you're gonna subgroup black American culture from American culture, I can do the same thing for white. As there are things that we benefit from in today's society that had came directly from white Americans.
Yeah, I mean you can do that, but I don't see the use in it. Like what information do we glean from
Yeah,
pointing out that that thing was invented by two white Americans
of course,
other
because in
than,
today's
the
society,
two
I feel like
Americans.
mhm. In today's society, I feel like white people are or white people socially are demonized, seen as bad people, seen as
Yeah, I don't
like,
care about that. I don't
of
care
course,
about
of
that.
course, and you don't have to. You're not
So,
obligated to. But me personally, yeah, since I call that white culture, I feel like we should have like the fact that we have so many people in this country today who just don't believe that white people made shit, don't believe that white people had contributed anything to our society that is greater than murder, rape, pillaging. I feel like on the topic of white culture, I feel like we should have an entire month
mhm.
to appreciate all the
Yeah,
things that
so
white
before you go
individuals
down
have
that
done.
spiel, so I think that
Mhm.
you're fighting with a ghost right now. Like you're arguing against other people and arguing against points that other people made. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know what to
Mhm.
say if you heard somebody say
No,
that
but
all
you
white
asked me
people
why I believe
invented.
this.
Well, I was going somewhere with that line of questioning, and what you're talking about is something completely different than what I'm talking about. I'm not
Okay.
talking about how white people never invented anything and that they didn't do shit but rape and pillage. That's not me. That's not the live I'm doing right now. You're fighting a ghost. So like, I'm not here to say that white people don't have culture in like the sense that white people, what we're calling white people that come from these European nations, that they don't have culture there. They do. What I'm saying is that amalgamating it all as to one thing, like the umbrella term of white culture, doesn't make any sense to me. That's the point I'm making.
No, you're correct, but I feel like you're trying to like inflate white Americans not or white people not sharing the same exact culture throughout our world to simply white people not having culture. It's like the way you
Well,
word your
no,
argument makes
no,
hold on, the way
no.
you word your argument makes it seem like
That's
you
not
want
what I'm
people
doing.
to make a false concession that white people don't have culture when your argument insinuates that white people have culture, they just don't share the same exact culture as one another.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm saying exactly what the fucking thing says. I don't think there's a such thing as white culture. That makes no sense to me. There's German culture. There's white American culture, like you just pointed out. There's German culture. There's Italian. There's Irish. There's Spanish. There's all these different Europeans that we're considering white people. They have cultures and they're separate from each other. There's no unifying white culture. There's no such thing as whiteness. White is not a real thing. Race
Okay, so
doesn't actually
of course.
exist.
So you believe that
So like,
you believe that white people do have culture. We should just shouldn't amalgamate it as like a whole, like
well,
same thing, saying that white people share the same exact culture.
yeah, well, we have to stop calling it white culture. We have to stop doing that. There's no such thing as white culture. That's not what it is. What people are calling white culture, what they really mean is a thing that came from Rome, or a thing that came from Greece, or a thing that came from France. Like this is not white
Yeah,
shit. This is,
no,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
When people say white culture, they're referring to, like, although you can find many aspects of white culture throughout our entire world. When we say white culture, we're talking about things specifically made by white people or brought into our world because of white people, manifested by white people, and I think that should be celebrated. I think we shouldn't. I think that we shouldn't stop saying
Jew,
white
slow
people.
down. Jew, slow down. The point I'm making to you, exactly the thing that you're doing right there is what I'm trying to get people to stop doing. I'm trying to get people to stop doing the thing where they say these are things that were invented by white people. These are not things that were invented by white people. These are
They
things
are.
that were invented by. These are things that were invented by a German or
No,
an
but it's
Irish
incorrect.
or like this white thing is a descriptor that how do I say this? We don't need that descriptor. We don't have to call it white culture. There's no need for the term white culture. It makes no sense if you're talking about something that comes from a specific place or a specific area.
Of
Like
course, but I'm
why?
talking.
What's the
Yeah,
point of using an umbrella term when you can use the more precise, specific term? If you're talking about a specific thing, if you're talking about something that comes from France, call it French culture. Don't call it white culture because all of white people didn't do the shit.
yeah. I'm talking about inventions that were made specifically by white people, manifestations that were made specifically
Did
by
you not
white
hear what
people.
I just said?
Yeah, of course. You said, and I quote, white people didn't do this shit. But you can't make that same argument to the internet. You can't make that same argument
Oh my god!
to.
Never
Mhm.
mind. You're debating a topic. Like you're arguing with a ghost, bro. I'm not one of those people that you argue with that said that white people have no culture and they've never done anything but plunder and pillage and rape. You're in the wrong live for that. I'm not here to argue with you that to listen to you give your Black History or your White History Month lesson and say, look at all the cool things white people did. I'm not here for that. Okay. I'm not denying the fact that what we're calling white people have done great things in the world. I'm just saying that it's not a white people thing. That's the point I'm making. And you're going in a circle with me about, well, we can do it because it was made by a white person. You're not listening to me. It wasn't made just. That's why I asked you with those two people that invented the thing that were white Americans. What was it about them being white that made them invent that? Because what's the point of pointing out that they were white? I'm gonna talk to one last person, and you got a Mexican flag, so I'm hoping that you got some sense. What you got for me, Nick?
I don't really think colors have culture, but it depends on your definition. If you're saying there's black culture, I could say there's white culture, but I don't think either have culture. I think it's either country or you call it urban culture. I wouldn't ever say it's black culture, white culture.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, race is not real. Like, there's no such thing as a white culture. Now, when we say black culture in America, we're typically talking about black American culture, which is just culture that was invented by the black people who were descendants of slaves in this country. That does exist.
I would consider that more urban American culture.
Well, the culture that was developed and what we're calling black culture was not just developed in urban areas. We developed it in the country, we developed it in cities, we developed it in the suburbs. Like, we were all over this country developing this culture. Like, it's not just urban culture.
It's not about who makes something, it's about who perfects something. And
yeah, but we're all using it all over the country still, even now. We're in the urban areas, in the cities, in the country. We're like my Mississippi cousins are they're engaging in the same black culture that I'm engaging in metropolitan Houston, Texas.
All right, if you're talking about like the way people dress, wearing Jordans, I just consider that urban American. Latinos wear that too.
Well, wearing Jordans is not.
I mean, like,
that's a funny example for you to use.
Okay, because like person like Jake Paul got pressed because they said you're wearing the way jewelry you wear and the way you dress, you're appropriating black culture. I'm like, that's not really black culture. The guy is just dressing like an urban American.
Yeah, I don't consider like wearing Jordans as black culture. I actually consider that as like a stereotype of black people. But we don't have to go down that rabbit hole. The point I'm getting to is that the black what we're calling
What?
my bad, I got cut off. What we're calling black culture in America absolutely exists, and it's a thing that we've been practicing all over this country. And it's a unique thing. So it doesn't apply to all black people. It doesn't apply to Haitians. It doesn't apply to Jamaicans. It doesn't apply to Nigerians. It doesn't apply to Ghanaians. It doesn't apply to South Africans. It applies to a very specific way of living in America.
I feel like you could describe it without saying black.
Yeah, but that's the term that we've used historically. So like we can, but that's what we're talking about when we say black
Okay,
culture.
but
We
like,
could call it
this,
something else, but that's what we're talking about.
this just takes me back because I was talking about how I want a girl with culture, and I mean like Hispanic culture, or whatever, Middle Eastern culture. That's what I meant. And there's girls bringing up how black people have culture. I'm like, bro, that's not. What do you mean? She's like, the way they dress. I said, what? Saggy pants is their. I'm like, bro, that's not culture. Don't do that. That's.
Wait, hold up now, Nick. Now, I ain't gonna let you talk shit up in here. Now, what you mean wearing saggy pants? Do you know what black culture is?
Like I'm saying saggy pants. She said that's. I said like you know how like Hispanics dress a certain way. That's
Wait.
like
So you were associating the saggy pants with Mexican people?
no, saggy pants is disgusting. If you wear that, you're not a human.
I'm trying to see why you brought up the saggy pants. Who is this supposed to be associated with?
She said that was like black culture. She said that's like that's fine. That's just the way they dress.
And you're like, no, that's disgusting.
Yes.
Hold up, let me see what my boy Cream Cheese gotta say. I'm gonna let my man Cream Cheese talk to you.
What's going on?
What's up, Cream Cheese?
Yo, that's my thing. So what's the current discussion right now?
So we're talking about. I mean, I think we shifted a little bit with Nick, but he's talking about. We were kind of talking about black culture for a second, and I don't know if Nick is respecting black culture like I think he should right now. I think he's taking digs at black American culture right now. Am I wrong about that, Nick?
I'm saying black Americans don't have a unique culture. It's just they're American. They're
Okay,
not-
so yeah, it's what I thought. It's exactly what I thought. Go ahead, Cream Cheese. You can if you want to talk to him.
Yeah, no, definitely. So can you name anything at all as black culture, Nick?
So, say it again.
Everyone's SAG. That's not a black thing, by the way. So you know what culture means?
Yeah, I don't have the exact definition, but I have an understanding of it.
Okay, can I know your understanding of it?
What?
Can I know your understanding of culture?
I cannot understand this nigga.
Can I know your understanding of culture?
Oh,
Yeah, he's telling you to explain what you think culture means, bro.
Oh, it's like the way you dress, the way the history, the way you dress, the music you have, that kind of stuff. What shapes your background.
People who are black don't have music.
You see, I just consider that American music. I don't consider that black music.
Yeah, so it's called so American nationality, but would you agree that there are ethnic groups though in the country?
I mean, yes.
Okay, so Black American is a ethnic group, right?
So if I said Turkish culture, would you be like, oh no, it's divided? No.
Okay,
Turkish music is Turkish music.
But within Turkey, are there not ethnic groups that have their own cultures?
Yes, but we classify all of it as Turkish.
And also, would Turkey be more homogenous than America?
What do you mean homogenous?
Homogenous, like all one, like closer to being one thing. Like they're not as segregated as we are.
I mean, come on, man. That's where you're going at.
No. Listen. So, okay. So, my thing is, right? I don't think you know what culture is. For one. Now, so Black Americans in America, we've created. We created gospel, blues, jazz, funk, R&B, hip hop, each was invented by Black Americans, and these are
Yeah,
now.
but
Wait, hold
I
on, hold
consider that
on.
Nick.
American.
No, listen,
So
listen. These
Nick, I don't know if you know, most of the music that was invented in America come from Black people. I don't know if you know that.
Again, I just consider that American.
Nick, can I explain something? Wait, hold on, wait. These are now global genres, right, around the world, right? So, yeah, and also like Black American culture is American, right? But it's also uniquely Black, right? So saying it's just American, you're ignoring how much of American culture came from Black people, pretty much. So
Again,
Black
I just
people,
consider it American.
all right, so but it's not only so American is like more of like an umbrella term, but to be more exact, to be Black American, right? So we have like in America, we have some Chinese food that was created in America. It's still Chinese food, but it's Chinese American. It's not just American, it's Chinese American. So we're Black.
But that's a little that's different. They take that from
It's not
China.
different.
Hold up.
No, they didn't.
Y'all.
No, they didn't. They
Wait a
didn't. It
second.
was created in America.
What would be a better example if an African took African stuff and brought it to America and then had a spin-off? That would be
So for one, good question, but also it's relevant too. But two, Africans. So hip hop and jazz and R&B have what's called a rhythm response. That is African influences, but still that's relevant. It was still created in America still.
Wait, hold up, y'all. Let Big Norm jump in.
Yeah, I just wanted. So Nick, are you from Mexico? Or are you from the U.S.?
not from U.S.
Okay, so would you not say that what makes the U.S. unique from most countries is that we do have a lot of different ethnic backgrounds in the
Ethnic
U.S.,
backgrounds,
correct?
yes.
Okay, so part of the reason why we differentiate in the U.S. when it comes to, especially when it comes to African American culture, white culture, is because for the most of U.S. history, we were separate. So black church and white church within U.S. history, completely two completely different experiences, right? Our music for most of U.S. history, completely different. Our food, the way we ate, the way we talked, completely different. So it did create two completely different subsets of culture within the U.S. because for majority of the history we were segregated. On top of that, though, you also have to put into the aspect of the proponent that there is many different ethnic backgrounds within the U.S., which does make the U.S. unique
Do you know your ethnic background?
to other countries. Well, I do know my origins come from Africa. I do
Okay,
know
you
that.
know, but
But
a lot of black people don't know their background.
well, we know we come from Africa. We know that, but in a large
How about
portion,
Jamaicans?
but
How
some
about
of us,
Haitians?
huh?
Same
Well,
thing.
Jamaican, but
Same
brother, Jamaicans are still a product of the slave trade, though, brother. So
I get
they
they have
still
a totally different culture than African
yes, but
culture.
what I'm saying is that we know our lineage still traces back to Africa, but in terms of our actual nationality, we are American, obviously, right? But we know that a lot of the stuff that we took and brought over here and that persists to this day, like Cream said, does originate from Africa, right? When you talk about even banjo, that originates from Africa, right? So a lot of what we brought here is from our ethnic
But
background,
you don't know your
and
ethnic
and
background.
Yeah, we do.
some of us do. So to say that none of us
Majority
do is
don't, though.
incorrect.
Yeah, we do. We're
But
African American.
Nick, you're missing the main point. The reason why we differentiate cultures in America is because the truth of the matter, especially when you talk about white and black culture, is most of our time developing in this country was dealt relatively separately. And that's just the truth of the matter. So,
I get that.
okay, so when you say it doesn't exist, it absolutely exists and has existed for most of the history in this country.
I get that. But however, you don't know your ethnic background. Like someone like
Nick,
Akon,
hold up, Nick.
I could call him
Listen.
African, although he's born in America, because he knows his background.
Nick,
He
who
always
cares? We don't
references
give a
his
fuck about
background.
that.
All right, so
Nick, who
forget
cares,
the
Nick?
African term.
You didn't
Forget
know
the
what
African
ethnicity
term.
means.
Black culture. Let's just say black culture. Forget the African term.
I don't
Let's say
believe in black culture. It's
okay,
either
but that's what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. I could say I don't believe in Target, nigga. It don't mean Target don't
I
exist.
can prove Target exists.
And guess what? I can prove black culture exists.
You see, I
But
just
be,
consider it urban American.
Listen,
It's
you do
Well, you're
realize most
considering
of
it
our so
wrong, Nick.
Nick, most of our customs and most of the things that we did within our churches, within our music, white America did not agree with, nor did they accept for a long, long time. That's what I'm trying to get you to realize is it was unique to us. It was
Like
only
what?
accepted by
Like
us.
what?
Our music, our food, our
What they do? What
church.
do they do
There's
to
a
your music?
reason why even
What do
even
they
the
do
way
to your
we
music? What do
even
they
the
do
way
to your food?
you said what?
What do they do to your food that they didn't accept it?
What our food and our music, you said?
Yeah, you said they didn't accept. What do you mean?
Yeah, so if you go back like art, like so the way we danced, the way we sang wasn't accepted until white people started to take it, like Elvis
You said
started to
food. You said food.
I said food and music.
All right. So
I said
what?
food.
What do you mean they didn't accept your food?
I mean, many of the foods we ate, they were not eating. They did not. So a lot of our foods that we started to eat, like chitlins, pork grinds. There were a lot of our food was the scraps that slaves took these scraps that the white people did not want to eat and put them together. That's where soul food comes from. So when you talk about,
Soul
oh,
food like chicken and waffles is scrap.
that's
So
not all
chicken and
soul food
waffles is
is.
come
That's
on,
not
man.
all
Now
soul
you
food is. So once again, you just ignored what I said. So
That's the
chitlins.
most common
Do
soul
you know
food.
what chitlins are? Do you know what chitlins are?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so
Wait,
do
so
your
wait,
research.
hold
So
on.
that's what I'm
So
saying. You
question
have
for
That's
to.
like
Nick.
an irrelevant
Nick, you don't
one.
know what you're talking about
But
on this topic, and you're
yeah,
speaking
Nick,
confidently.
So you're
Nick,
telling me
Nick,
chicken and
Nick, you
waffles is
clearly
not
so
soul food?
Wait,
Nick. So you clearly aren't fully educated on
You're
our
not,
culture to even
bro.
speak on it.
Okay,
To
he's
even
not.
speak on it. So
is
that's what I'm
is
saying.
chicken and
Go
I have a
back and
question.
do a lot of soul food dishes come from us utilizing the scraps that were giving to us to make these dishes because white people did not want these scraps. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. And when you look at the music, the way we danced, the way we moved, even like what Elvis took from our culture and implemented it into white society, they even for a second kind of judged him for a second, like, oh, why is he moving that way? Because it was deemed too
He's
secular.
gyrating.
Because
Yeah.
it was deemed too secular. So what I'm saying is a lot of what we had to do in this country was not accepted or appreciated by white America. So that's how we created our own black culture within the same country. That's what you're
Yeah, we
ignoring.
could say the same thing. We could say the same thing for hip hop. Like when hip hop first started, they did not consider that
No,
real
they
music. They
didn't.
were
They
saying,
didn't.
"What is that hibbity?" Like they didn't think it was real
That's where
music.
the whole
And
term
we
comes
said,
from. That's where the whole term comes from.
Yeah,
What is that?
Elvis stole from a black
It
singer.
was.
And
It was. It's an
I
insult.
kind of see what you're saying. However,
And Elvis stole from a black singer too. But,
And if
but
you're
also,
being for real,
Nick, quick question now. So, are you telling us that white kids in America created hip hop, slang, and soul food and fashion?
I think Americans.
No, listen. Do you think white American kids were in these urban cities creating hip hop and slang and soul food, or did black
No, but
people
as
do
I
it?
said, it
You
doesn't
said
matter who
no.
started something.
Okay,
It's
Yeah, it
about
does
who
matter.
perfected
It does
it.
matter. It does matter.
It's about who
Look,
perfected it.
again,
I mean,
ethnicity.
we started and
African,
perfected it. So what the
yes,
fuck are you? What are you
yes.
saying?
Okay, no, I agree
But
with you, but I don't. But not just Hispanic people dressed like. I mean, not just black people
One
dressed like
second,
you.
Nick.
Puerto
One second.
Ricans do too.
African American. African American is a ethnic group. We are African Americans. Me, Big, Greek, Kenny are all African Americans. That is a ethnicity. We have our own culture.
That's not an African. Is not ethnicity.
African American is a
African
ethnicity.
American.
Ethnicity is a country. Like
No,
if
it's
you
not.
if you told me you're
No,
Nigerian,
nationality
That's
is a country.
nationality.
no nationality,
Nationality
no
is a country.
nationality. Your
You're
nationality
conflating
is American. Your
No, you're
nationality is American. If
you're
you're
conflating nationality and ethnicity. That's the
yeah,
problem.
mute me while I'm talking.
Just like you have like the Mexican flag up, there are actually multiple Mexican ethnicities within Mexico. So you're conflating nationality and ethnicity, and the
No,
ironic part
my
is,
nationality. Yo, can you stop muting when I'm trying to respond?
and the ironic part is,
Yeah, who's doing it?
I have a sorry for
Let Greek finish. Let Greek
I
finish.
don't know where because I kind of joined late, but I don't know where
talking. You're muting me.
I don't know where we.
All right, I'm dropping. Bye.
Oh,
Loser.
okay, bye. All right.
I have
Sorry,
a
Nick,
question.
bro. Like,
I'm
go
like
ahead,
relatively
Greens.
new to joining. What's the argument here? Is your argument that there is no white culture, or I'm kind of confused?
All right, so the other people might disagree with me on this. I personally don't believe there's a such thing as white culture. Like And the reason why I say that, is because whose alarm beeped
Yo,
just
no,
now?
that's me. This morning, I gotta change the battery. That just
Come
started,
on,
bro.
man. Come on.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can't be perpetuating these stereotypes. But yeah, the reason I say that is because so what we're calling white culture, what people say when they say white culture, they say dumb shit like building civilization, architecture, the language you're speaking. The problem with that is stuff like architecture is not a white thing. Like when you talk about certain types of architecture, those things come out of certain areas. Different types of music comes out of certain areas, like Spain, Ireland, England, Germany, Italy. All these countries, they are not all the same. They have different languages and different cultures and different histories and different heritages. So putting them all together under one umbrella term of white makes no sense to me. So when you say white culture, what does that even mean?
So, in my opinion, the way I see it is, for an example, what is your background, if you don't mind me asking? Are you African
I'm
American? Are
black.
you Hispanic? You're what?
I'm black American.
Okay, so with you, what you say that, what would you represent as your black culture or your African American culture?
So now that's different. When we talk about black culture, I know I got to speak for me because I don't know if the other guys on here agree with me on this. But when I'm talking about black culture, I'm talking about black American culture specifically. So that doesn't include, Jamaica and Haiti and Nigeria and South Africa and all the other nations that black people come from. I'm talking specifically about the culture that we developed in this country as descendants of slaves in America. That's the culture I'm talking about. And that's I don't apply that evenly to all black people around the world. When people say white culture, they're taking all the things that a bunch of different countries in Europe did and putting it all together and saying this is white culture, and that literally makes no sense.
I feel like there is some validity in that, though. Like, for example, I'm Hispanic, right? There are a lot of Hispanic traditions and cultures that are taken from places like Mexico and like South America and brought to the U.S.
That
But that
alarm
doesn't make
beep
it
is
white
killing me.
culture, though,
Culture,
bro.
you
That
know what I
doesn't
mean?
make it white culture, bro. Just because you borrow shit from other people doesn't make it your culture. Kenny, I would say white culture, they do have culture, They got male culture. Male, they have made mayonnaise their whole personality, so.
They got male culture. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Now, I mean, I know a lot of people. I'm not trying to rage bait y'all. I'm not trying to tell you that the countries that we call white countries have no culture, because they do. Like Germany has a culture, Ireland has a culture, England has a culture, France has a culture. Like I don't deny that. I don't think everybody would agree with me on that, but I think they have cultures. I just don't see them all as one thing. Like, you're not all one big hunky, just like in for black people with Africa, like Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, Sudan, South Africa. Like, we're not all one big nigga. We're not all the same. It's the same. It's the logic that people use, like when they say, "You're mad about slavery. You should go back to the people who sold their own people." Those weren't their own people. Africa has 54 different countries in it with hundreds of different tribes and different cultures and different languages
3,000
of
ethnic
people
groups.
who did not.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they don't fuck with each other.
That's the same argument that I tell people, because when it's almost a bit revisionist when people say, "Oh, they sold their own people," no. In modern day, these people have been all racialized as black and one people, but in that time period, the concept of black didn't exist, and they were not one people.
Exactly.
I'll say this though, Kenny.
We're not all one big nigga, bro. We're different.
I'll say this though. I do believe that there are things that we share like universal as black people. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That we can attribute to black culture. But like yeah, like you said, it's not the same for white people though. You know what I'm saying? Like us surviving white people is part of our culture. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah, like the I don't understand the use in using the term white culture because y'all have spent thousands of years in turmoil and war killing each other because you don't agree. You don't agree on none of these cultural markers. You don't agree on the religion you're supposed to follow. You don't agree on the life you're supposed to live. You don't agree on the languages you were supposed to speak. Y'all kind of coming into that now, but for all throughout y'all's history, y'all have been warring with each other because you disagree on culture, and now you're trying to say actually there is a unified white culture. That makes no sense to me. Can you explain that, Greens?
So yeah, well, my standpoint, the only thing that I have not like an issue with, but kind of like a counterpoint to is if you kind of say culture as a whole, what culture is in terms of like representing people, I feel like if you say white people don't have culture, let's say in the US, you're discrediting a lot of kind of history there, right? And again, I'm not even white, right? I'm not trying to defend anything, but I'm just saying I feel like you can't say there's black culture, there's Hispanic culture, I mean there's Latin culture, and then say, but there is no white culture. I feel like you kind of denounce a lot of what, practices some white people have in regards to that.
The way I see,
No,
Like
I'm
for
not.
example, like music, right? There's black music, right? You have Latin music. There's white, you've heard of country songs, in my opinion. I feel like country songs or even like the evolution of certain classical themes
black
that present
people.
themselves in the US in the US.
Country was black first, I believe, but my thing is like it originally was black, but like so I think culture is usually used in a very like shallow way because culture is not to be created by a certain group for it to be culture. Like if you use a guitar and I do too, it's still your culture in a way, right? Your way of using it might be a bit different, but it's still your culture. I do think that people who are white have culture, obviously. I think the concept of whiteness, though, like whiteness has no culture, but white people have culture, obviously. Um, but that's how I see it, though.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make to you, Greens. I'm not saying that these people, I'm not erasing that history. I'm actually trying to get people to represent that exactly. Because when you fold it all into one thing and homogenize it, it means nothing. Versus if you're saying, actually, instead of saying this one invention made by a Frenchman is white culture, instead of doing that, and
Okay, okay.
you say,
That makes
instead of
sense.
Wait,
you see what I'm
Green.
saying? Say that it's
Wait,
French. Say that
I
it's
can't.
French. Say that it's Irish. Say that it's German. Say what culture it actually comes from instead of just folding it all under white.
Wait,
Because what does
but,
that even fucking mean?
Okay, yeah, I was under the misconception
but
that you were
Green.
just saying that there is no like. I understand you're saying there's distinctions within these groups, right? So like it's like for me saying that certain Latin culture, I can just say, oh, it's Mexican culture, when in reality there's different places, regions, there's different areas that represent that culture. I can get that. That makes sense.
But also, so I did my own thought experiment just now, too, in my own head. So the way I see it, though, right, too, is like, so black people, you have a racialized shared experience, though, globally, but also in America, because, it's an identity born out of that shared experience. And we had to create a new culture from scratch, blending African, indigenous, Western influences. So we have, like, all those things. Whiteness, though, is more of a shared position, but then I'll also argue that a shared position is still an experience. But anyways, Greek, what do you think?
Yeah, there is a form or a level. That's why sometimes when I see the term black culture, I don't think of it. I think of it as an umbrella term. And I don't think of it as like like there's a lot of specificity, but there might be shared things and elements that are shared within what we would call maybe a black diaspora. Um, and that's just because of like shared experiences or shared experiences throughout the world. When it comes to things like when people say Latino culture, it's kind of the same thing. It's almost like monolithicizing, if that's a word, like treating a demographic as a monolith. Like what is salsa? Well, actually that's Cuban and it has a lot of New York influence, right? And Puerto Rican. But mariachi is something very different and cumbia is something very different and bachata is from the Dominican Republic. When you're just saying Latin music, those are all different countries, right? So I see both sides where it's like these terms, these monolith terms that people don't dig deeper into. Um, I can see why it's bad, and but conversely, we can agree that some of these people have some level of shared experience based on their racialization or based on how they're treated.
Yeah, I agree. Like there's definitely some overlap. There's some overlap between a lot of these countries and their cultures. But like the things that people are pointing out when we're talking about white culture, there is no overlap. When they talk about agriculture, all those different European countries were not making the same building. They were doing very different types of architecture from each other. They were not all speaking the same language. They were not all practicing the same religions. They were not all eating the same foods. They were
I
very
don't agree with
different from
that
each
actually.
other.
I don't agree with that actually. I think parts of Europe are very similar. I think Europe is very boring and very monotonous actually. I look at Spain, like Spain, Portugal, Italy. They actually have a lot of similar architecture. France. Okay, we get it. Monasteries, great. Oh, Gothic, oh, great. Like I see that like all over Europe. It's so boring. Like, I think the
Oh
only
my
one that
God.
stands out is like maybe like southern Italy is a little bit different. Maybe east like Central Asia is a bit different, but um,
Hey man, that's your view on it. To me, like I'm okay with accepting that everybody has their own shit, even if they may look similar to each other. If you ask them, it's not the same shit. They'll tell you, nah, it's look at how we do it and look at how they do it. Like it's very different from each other. I'll agree with them and say, you know what, it is very different with each other. I'm okay with giving all of these different cultures their props for their own shit. I just want the people who are acting like they're proud of their quote unquote white culture to do the same thing. Instead of rolling everything all under one umbrella, actually give props to the culture that you're trying to big up right now and mention where it actually comes from. Because all those countries were not all doing the same thing. They have very different histories from each other. So like, when you say again, and I'm gonna end it here because I really do have to go. When you say white culture, what does that even mean? It can't be religion. It can't be Christianity. Y'all were practicing so many different versions of Christianity. Y'all were murdering and killing each other over which version of Christianity to practice. But
I'm not even a fan really of black culture really. I mean, I like saying like African American or maybe Black American maybe, but even like black itself is not really a culture. If you look outside of America, it's like you have like the DR, Jamaica, Kenya, Ghana, Ethiopia, with vastly
Yep.
different like customs and stuff. So even like the idea of a black culture to me, I don't like using it that much. But I will say that like there is again African American culture. But
Yeah, I'm saying that too. That's what I'm saying though. That's what I'm saying too. Like that's the main what's the word? That's like the main objective of this whole thing. Like we're not all one big nigga, and y'all are not all one big honky. Okay, we don't have to roll you all into one thing because race is not real. Race is made up. We invented these categories a few hundred years ago. This is not how we always categorized ourselves.
that's fact.
The people back then, they didn't see each other as all the same. They saw each other as the nation that they came from. And I feel like they were right about that. This whole thing of rolling everybody into these 5 racial groups, it makes no sense to me because the only thing that holds them together is their skin tone. And that says nothing. But I gotta end this. Y'all have a good day. Shout out to you, Cream Cheese. Shout out to you, Greek. I'm gonna get up out of here.